Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Dana and this is Delighted to DIY. For DIY number 1, you're going to need 12 of the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. You're going to put them together in groups of 3, or at least that's what I did. I found this worked the best, and then I just used a ruler to help keep them straight. I put them together with my hot glue. Once I had them in 3s, I then put 2 together, and then the other 2 together, then all 4 together. Once these were put together into one solid piece, I took it outside and gave it a few coats of primer spray paint. With one of these foam shaker things, there was some ribbons attached to it that I'd already pulled off. I just cut out with my scissors around it so that only the maple leaf and a little bit of red border was on. I then took some burnt umber acrylic paint from Dollar Tree or Dollarama and dry brushed it very lightly over top. Then gave it a light sand with my sanding block from Dollar Tree. I also dry brushed over the front of the maple leaf just to kind of make it look a little more weathered, not so bright and vibrant, as that wasn't really the look I was going for. Then I took one more block from the tumbling tower set and hot glued it to the back so that this would be a freestanding piece. For this DIY, I took one of the love signs from the Valentine's Day decor from Dollar Tree. I took some spackling from my local hardware store to fill in the holes, and then gave it a sand to smooth it down, as well as on the other side remove the glitter. I gave it 2 coats, letting it dry in between, of the Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white. Then I gathered a bunch of things from my stash, my craft stash, but you could easily get these at your local Dollar Tree or Dollarama. I started with some lace ribbon and glued these along in strips along the back. I did the outsides, then the inside to get them evenly spaced, then put the next 2 in. Then with some red rope that I found at Dollar Tree. I also found some white rope. I also used some Canada maple leaf ribbon. Anyways, all you have to do is really use what you have or what you can find in reds and whites. I also took some yarn from my stash, but you can easily get this at your local Dollar Tree or Dollarama also. I took 6 lengths and then did 2 of each and did a simple braid. I did 3 braids in total, and then just attached all these onto the front of the bottom of the sign using my hot glue gun. All products in these DIYs have been kept to Dollar Tree and Dollarama. The only thing that wasn't purchased at either of these locations was this Canada ribbon that I got, I believe, from Walmart. Michael's, I think, carries something similar. But otherwise, these DIYs are super simple and made with items that you can get inexpensively at your local dollar stores. So here I am just attaching on all the bits to where I like them. I set them out first to kind of dry fit them. Once I like them where they were, I used the hot glue gun to glue them down. Then, because I had to glue them on the front, I used some white ribbon just to cover them up, gluing it down with my hot glue gun, and then just gluing it on to the back. Then with some of these felt stickers I found at Dollar Tree, I believe there were 6 in a pack. They were stickers, but I added some hot glue just to ensure they would stay even more. I used 2 of the smallest size, I believe it was, as either the smallest or the middle size on the left and right, then put a slightly larger one in the middle. Again, just eyeballing, but if you want to measure to be exact, by all means go ahead. I used burnt umber acrylic paint from Dollar Tree and a chippy stencil brush. I dry brushed around the edges and along the tops just to kind of make it look a little more weathered, not so new. Then I took some of the same red rope from Dollarama and hot glued it on the back, and that was my hanger, and this sign is complete. I forgot to mention before that I did get inspiration for this sign from Megan at the Crafty Quinn. I will leave her channel linked in my description box if you want to head over and check her out. Today's video is part of the Canada A Open Playlist collaboration hosted by Lisa from Lisa & Company. I will have a link to her channel posted in my description box below. She's super amazing. I highly suggest you check her out if you haven't already. And I just wanted to say a bit about my heritage. I am proudly Canadian, born and raised here in Ontario, Canada. My background is a bit Dutch, and I am happy to say I am also Aboriginal. I am part Ojibwe from Manitoulin Island. I'm very proud to be Canadian and love that we have such a diverse country. And with that, I'd love to wish all Canadians a happy Canada Day. And now back to the DIYs. Using a wooden home sign from Dollar Tree, I removed the sticker from the base of it. Then using the Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white, I gave the O and the M, actually, never mind, the HOME, all letters, a good 2 coats, then went in with the bright red acrylic paint from Dollarama and one of these paper stickers from Dollar Tree. I painted the E and the H. I think it actually took me probably 3, maybe 4 coats to get a nice bright red, or well, good coverage on the letters, and you can see it here done. Then I went in with the burnt umber and just freehand very carefully along the letters. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, by all means tape it off, but I did the base in the burnt umber and it just kind of gave it almost a stained look. I didn't go heavy on it to give it a painted look. And then I stuck on the maple leaf between the O and the M, and that was it. For the next DIY, I started with a shadow box and 2 packages of the red and white paper straws, both from Dollarama. I then marked with a pencil the height that I needed and cut it down with my scissors. I alternated the red and white. You'll see me here kind of turning it so that the red goes against the white. Anyways, I continued this pattern using my hot glue and glued all the straws into place. Then with this gem sticker from Dollar Tree, I wanted to tone it down a bit, so I just took some of the burnt umber acrylic paint from Dollar Tree and sponged it on. It just toned down the shininess and brightness of the red. This was a sticker that I peeled off the plastic and put onto the cardboard it came with. I did this just so it would stand out a little more. I felt that when I laid it on top of the straws without the cardboard, it didn't pop as much, so I did what I just said and explained and put it on the cardboard, then cut around it. I used some more burnt umber to just distress the edges of the maple leaf and a little bit of the straws to make them, again, not look so new, a little more distressed and worn. I adhered this onto the straws with my hot glue. Then, using many of the same remnants and pieces from the maple leaf hanging sign, I cut them into pieces as you see here, and we are going to make a messy bow. You just do this by crisscrossing different elements together, so some ribbons, different ribbons, some twine, some jute, lace, pretty much anything you want really. Anyways, you kind of crisscross them in a messy fashion. I tied mine together with some floral wire from Dollarama, then I tied it off with a couple of rounds of jute twine and adhered it with some hot glue to the corner of the frame. I think I dovetailed some of the ends and that was it. One of the freestanding signs and my Dollar Tree sanding sponge, I removed the glitter, then painted the wood letters from Dollarama in bright red and white. I used a light coat of burnt umber for the and sign. After spray painting the sign with a couple coats of the Bullseye 123 primer, I brought it back in when it was dry and used the bright red on the base. Then I took some of these puffy stickers and the linen white and painted, I think, 8 of them. You'll only need 4, but I did 8. I don't know why, maybe for future projects. Anyways, let that dry. Then while it was drying, I adhered my letters onto the sign with some hot glue. But don't glue on your and sign because I'm going to put some ribbon down in that section and then glue the and sign on top. I don't show this, but this is what I do to the sign. Then with my ruler, I just mark along the lines where the indentations of each level were and mark it with my pencil and give it a little smudge with my finger to kind of make it more blended in. Then with some red rope that you've seen in previous projects already, I just tied a simple shoelace bow and adhered it to the top piece and glued it over to the side so it was out of the way. It also covered the bits of damage that this this sign had when I already bought it on the corners, which I liked. And as you see, I didn't have a clip of it, but I hot glued 4 of the little puffy stickers into the corners, and that was it. For this DIY, I took one of these tote bags from Dollar Tree and trimmed about 1/2 inch along or on the outside of the white portion and then along the bottom. Then I went back in with my ruler and pencil just to give it a straight line and cut along this line that I created with my scissors just to clean it up. Then with some wood fence tags, wood garden tags, that's the word. I had previously already stained with some burnt umber. I cut them down to size so they were just kind of sticking over by a bit. I adhered them with hot glue to the top and bottom, then used some white paint to just fill in some imperfections that were already on this tote bag, and then some white rope that you've already seen to make my hanger using hot glue on the back, and that was it. Can you say any more simpler? Is it even really a DIY? I don't know, but I know it looks great and it'd be awesome hung around. For this DIY, I took this This Nest, I think is what it said. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. Anyways, I took this sign that I got from Dollar Tree and 6 of these wooden plant labels that you can get from Dollarama. I am in love with these. There's so many, 1,000,001 ways you can use them. Watered down just slightly some burnt umber acrylic paint and painted this on front, back, sides, everywhere. Then used the middle size popsicle sticks, cut them down to about 2¼ inches. These are going to be supports for our structure that we are making. I used my hot glue to adhere 2 in each corner. So you'll need 8 pieces of these 2¼ inch pieces all together. So as you see here, yes, I did 2 in each corner. So they're what we're going to now glue our longer pieces to. And if you haven't guessed it, we are making a quote unquote crate. Quote unquote, is that really what I need to say? Anyways, I lined up the bottom one with the bottom of the tray and the top with the tops of the corner support sticks. I did that on the long sides, and then I was able to get the 2 pieces for the short sides out of 1 stick. So that's how you need you needed 6. Oh my gosh, slow down, Anna, you will get this. Once all these pieces were on, you will see here I'm showing you could go back in with some of the burnt umber and just stain where the cut pieces are, but I didn't like the space that was remaining. It wasn't like touching, and to me, I didn't like that look. So I took some of this white ribbon, cut it down to size, and used my hot glue to glue it around the corners, and I quite like this look that it gave it. I really like it. And it was super easy to do, and it covered up kind of the imperfections that I had created. Then with a package of these little plastic Canadian shot cups from Dollar Tree, I cut them in half. I needed 4, so that way I'd have 8 halves. Then took these middle-sized popsicle sticks again, and we are going to glue in with the hot glue them into each one. So you see 2 are done here. Be careful, it's hot. You may burn yourself. I know I did. Please don't burn yourself. Try your best not to. It gives us something to help glue them onto. So you will put 4 on each side. Then I wanted to make some decorative, and I repeat decorative. If you recreate this, please don't pick it up by these handles. They are only glued on with hot glue. They are really only for looks. You can lift it. I wouldn't, just in case it breaks. So yes, that's my disclaimer. These are decorative handles, not purposeful handles. Then with some baby's breath from Dollar Tree, I decided to fill in these cups just to my liking. I didn't add a ton, but I just added enough to make my eyes happy. I did some red and white because, of course, Canada Day, red and white, right? Just like the rest of the video. Then getting 3 of these little mason jars. They're the 250 milliliter size from Dollarama. They come in a pack of 6. I put 3 of them in. Then with some foliage from Dollar Tree, I cut it all apart and put it in around. And then that is it. You will see it styled coming up. I really hope you guys like these Canada Day inspired DIYs. You'll have to let me know what you think, which one was your favorite in the comments. And if you liked what you saw, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you want to see more of what I'm going to create, consider subscribing and come along on this creative journey with me. Sharing this video is also another way you could help support my channel. Any of those ways, I appreciate them all. Now enjoy the last bit. Until next time, bye.